Okay, we finished up the flow chart. The last thing we did was move employee to here. And now we're ready to go ahead and code our solution. So let's go back to the problem statement. Okay, there's the problem statement there. When we go to code, we go into HTML kit. It'll look like this. Again, I've done a lot ahead of time just for time's sake. So I put all our assumptions here. The blank places in memory have to be our input. So those are all our input there. And then the results of our calculation here. So we want blank places in memory up here. And then this is here we're creating places in memory and sticking initial values into them. And then we have our three original, or our three inputs. And we're going to start out with 1,000. And yes. And where's our employee? Okay, so we need to put that in there. Okay, and we have employee. Okay, easy peasy. All right, and that's yes, yes. And then the last one, it'll be yes, yes, and 45. Which is this, 33 is fine. All right, so what we need to do is we need to start our decisions. So let's go back into our notepad file, and we can see that our first decision is contractor. So I'll go Control C, Control V. Okay, let's put it in the right spot. Control V. And again, we have to have parentheses around, oh, that's a 9. Parentheses around the two things we're comparing. And for JavaScript, it must be equal, equal. And then we have to have a start brace. Start contractor. And then we'll have a semicolon. And then we'll have a stop brace. Stop contractor. Okay, so now that I have that in there, I actually have enough to test. So let's go ahead and preview it. It's $1,000. Yes, contractor. Yes, employee. And 45. And you can see, if we take a look at this, it is the correct output, 864. You notice that it's not 2 decimal places. And that's because we didn't put 2 fixed on there yet. But I always do that last. All right, so next thing we need to do is go ahead and grab the next decision, and that's our employee. So we'll do Control C, Control V, and then parentheses around what we're testing. And then we're going to have a start brace and a stop brace. And I always found it easiest, again, to use copying and pasting. So if I can probably go ahead and do, well, let's just copy this and paste it in. And then the disk rate is only going to be employee disk rate. Since I've already tested the other, all I got to do is just change this one value. And everything should work fine. So for this next one, we will do no, yes, 133. So this is going to be no, yes, 133, and then we'll preview it. 100, no for contractor, yes for employee, 33 age, and you can see that this also matches 9720, so that also matches. So let's go back into our editor, and now we can go ahead and add our next, which is this. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, Control C, Control V. Oh, and you can see that I didn't change these, so this should be employee, employee. Okay, and then I'll copy this, Control C, Control V, and this would be LG order, and then this here would be LG order. Okay, and now we're ready to go ahead and say that this is going to be an $1,000 order, and both of these are going to be no. All right, we're going to go ahead and preview it. So I have a problem with line 26. So that's the last thing we did, so it's got to be down here. I forgot my parentheses. You're probably already screaming that at the video. Oops. I also forgot something else. This employee would always be true. Gosh, if I tested it now, so it has to be equal. So since I found that mistake there, then I wonder where else I might have made a mistake. So now let's go ahead and preview it again. 1,000, no, 33, and it's a 5%. Whoop, it's a 10% discount. So that's not correct. Why is it giving me a 10% discount? And that's because I'm using the employee discount rate. I forgot to change it to the large order discount, Control C. So that's why we do the build and test methodology. So when things go wrong, we can go back and figure out, well, the last thing I did was what caused it. So let's go ahead and do it again. Okay, no. And now it's a 5% discount. All right, and now we have to go ahead and do the age issue. Oh, let's do this. You can see down here we have disc rate equals 0 if there is no discount. But let's do this instead. Let's go ahead and do var, and then I don't even have disc rate up here. Shame on me. Disc rate equals 0. So now we don't have to put that else because it starts with 0 and then gets changed to something else. So let's go ahead and preview it and make sure that it works. Let's do a $10 order, not a contractor, not an employee, and 30, and let's do 100. Well, that will make a difference, right? 33. And you can see that there's no discount. If we didn't have that in there, so let's go ahead and comment this out. Let's see what would have happened. So that's not right. All right, let's try that again. That's why I like changing the, all right, $10. Now let's preview it. 10, no, 33. And you can see we have that undefined issue. And that's because since we didn't assign disc rate anywhere, it comes up as undefined. So we'd have to either have it down here as an else or up here as a default value. Up here is a default value. And better in the default value because that removes a pair of braces that I don't have to worry about. All right, next thing we can do is put our age in there. Let's go back down here. Control C. Control V. We have parentheses around each of this. And then we have a start brace. Start age. Sales. No sales. And then a semicolon. And then we have our stop, our stop brace. And that is stop age, no sales. All right, well, one more run. You see 31. So again, where is my problem? It's like I have a brace there instead of a parenthesis. There we go. I think that caused the problem. It's so hard to tell if these are braces or semicolons. Let's try it again. So now we have a $10 order. No. Now it's going to be $100 age person, and it's still showing 8 cents sales tax. So what went wrong? Sales tax rate, cust age cutoff. If it's greater than that, then sales tax rate. Here we go. Tax rate. Yeah, that shouldn't be sales tax rate. That should be tax rate. Control C. How'd that come out bad? Huh. Isn't that interesting? I have sales tax rate there. Oh, who knows? Let's go take our flow chart. Now I'm curious. Sales tax rate. So that's what it should have been. So let's go ahead and make it that. We want to make sure everything looks the same. So sales tax rate. Control C. And so that this should be sales tax rate. And this should be sales tax rate. And this should be sales tax rate. Now that got all, yeah. All right, let's preview it again, see what happens. So we got 10, no, 100. And now we have no sales tax. So everything's working perfectly. Wow, this is 13 minutes. This is going to be a long one. I'm sorry. We have our last issue, and this employee should not be here. It has to actually be between these two. So I'm going to go ahead and after this else, make a brace. And this is going to be start, not contractor. All right, so if it's not a contractor, then we're going to put this here, Control X, Control V. So there we go. And then we're going to do this and this and this. So he's got to move it all over. Because we have one more stop. All right, so we added this extra brace, and then we have to add this one down here, and this is going to be stop, not contractor. So you can see that this makes it a lot more, another set of braces in here, but we have to do it because we don't want to ask the employee question if they say yes to contractor. All right, so let's preview and see if we haven't broken this. So let's do $1,000 order. And yes, they're a contractor. Notice it now, it didn't ask. So it didn't ask if I was an employee. Let's go back and make sure it does ask. All right, so now we're going to have, now let's just go ahead and preview it. $1,000 order. No. Now, oh, okay. It didn't ask. Oh, okay, it's going to ask next. Ah, yes. And now we have that. All right, so it pops up differently because there's different place inside my code. I still don't want to move the age question down. So you want to always cluster your inputs at the very top of your code, except when it doesn't make sense. And this employee didn't make sense to be up there. It needed to be down in here. So we went ahead and moved it. But don't, just because we moved employee down doesn't mean we take age and move it down here. That doesn't make any sense either. It makes it harder for your code to be maintained that way. Okay, the last thing we're going to do before as we finish is dot to fixed, open and close parenthesis, and 2. All right, and then once I have that in, I'm going to copy that, Control C, and put it at the end of each one. Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. And then test it one last time. That's the last thing I do. I don't put that at the beginning. I want to make sure everything works. Whoops, and see, you have a problem now. So we're on line 45. Oh, somehow where'd all my parentheses go? All right, so I need a close parenthesis. I overwrote the close parenthesis on each one of these, I guess. Didn't know I did that. Okay, so let's preview it. 1,000, yes, and that. To fixed, line 44. Document right, original price, dot, to fixed. All right, okay, so I realize what is the problem now. I'm putting to fixed on original price here. And original price, what is inside that place in memory? Well, let's go back up here and see. It is text 10. So we have that same problem. It can't put .00 at the end of a text string. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to do the good old conversion. So I have conversion, original price equals %. That makes this a number rather than a piece of text. And now when we run it, it runs fine. There we go. So remember that. Some to fixed will not work if it's on text, which means if you're putting it on a number that comes directly from a prompt. All right, that's it. And let's go on to the next problem.